Here on the Overanalyst channel. I apologize for the late start today. Golly gee, Brady has not had a great day. But we are hoping to change all that here in the waning hours of the evening with some more Dark Souls 3. Hey MC, how's it going? Sorry we're a bit late today. We're going to start things off by, well, going into something, or displaying a feature of Dark Souls 3 that I kinda dislike, honestly. There's a ton of NPCs you can interact with who have their own quest lines, and that's great, but so many of them are tied specifically to your progress through the story or the world, how many bosses you've defeated, that kind of thing. So the breaks between, say, bosses or areas where you're just having to talk to people if you want to see a lot of stuff or everything are much longer. And since this is Dark Souls 1 style writing, most of them just say vaguely ominous nonsense. An exception is this guy here. I think his name is Ringfinger Leonard. You will notice he is just straight up a hunter. He is from Bloodborne. We should only see him a couple of times.
Unkindled, are we?
I do really like the mask.
On the trail of the Lords absconded. Then these red eyes are for you.
And he just gives us some red eye orbs, so you know he's definitely a good guy.
Pillage embers and briefly heighten your strength for your duty. What else are unkindled ashes good for? Pillage embers for briefly heightened strength for your duty. What else are unkindled?
Right, okay, thanks, Ringfinger Leonard. He's kind of the quote-unquote evil support character, and let's talk to his distaff counterpart here, Cirrus of the Sunless Realms, who is wearing an absolutely gorgeous-looking armor set. Check that out.
You're an unkindled, aren't you? I am Cirrus of the Sunless Realms, former servant of the divinity. Duties we each bear, but one's duty is a solitary affair. I doubt we've much to gain from fraternization. Blessing of the moon upon your journey. I doubt we've much blessing.
So her quest line is actually really involved and centers around teleporting into her world, as in her instance of the game, to help her deal with a couple hostile characters. And I've never completed the whole thing just because the timing is so tight and specific. There's only one quest line that involves you going to a bunch of different places at specific times that I really know how to deal with all that well. And it's the quest line, Uria's quest line, the one we need to complete in order to get the Londor ending. Speaking of, quick question, let's see if anybody can get this one right. I was brushing up on the lore last night to make sure I had things to talk about. How do you suspect we will actually put an end to the Age of Fire once and for all, and usher in not just an Age of Dark, but like a positive, productive Age of Mankind? How would we do that nobody else has attempted to solve this problem before? Remember, what we've tried before includes just rekindling the flame and snuffing it out, or just letting it expire. What else could we do? MC asked, by killing everyone? Oh no, man, I'll show you how later, but the long and short of it is this. We're going to steal the first flame. More specifically, I'm going to steal it. And it's gonna be great. So I'm thinking, Crystal Rapier, pretty cool looking, but we're gonna need to upgrade it if we ever want to use it seriously, because it's not dealing a ton of damage. MC says this is another way to do it. This way is going to be really cool, rest assured. As we're basically going to keep anybody from either sacrificing themselves to or snuffing out the flame, and do the same exact thing Lord Gwyn did at the very beginning of the story and command it ourselves, without doing any of the horrible things he did afterward. So we're aware, I'll get into the specifics later as they become more relevant to our playthrough, but all of this, the Undead Curse, the Dark Sign, Hollowing, all of that is Gwyn's fault, directly. But none of it has anything to do with the First Flame, or the power of the Flame, and of life. All of this shit, is the result of actions that Gwyn took after he already claimed the First Flame and became a god. So I want to get some special Titanite so we can upgrade this this rapier, which means I'm going to try, I may not be able to do it, I'm going to try to fight the giant mutant crystal lizard, which is a really tough customer, believe you me. Really like that we're using Lucatiel's armor, though. Not only does it look gorgeous rendered in HD, but it's pretty good for medium armor. Okay, let's do this. Remember, this is what one of those little guys we've been fighting the entire time looks like, all grown up. And they deal insane damage, as you'd imagine. I'm sure we can bleed them, but I have a feeling, given their appearance, they'd be pretty resistant. Ooh, it does have a tail swipe attack. Good job. Oh! Oh my god, we actually staggered it and got a critical attack off. Look at that, nice. And there we go, we got a Titanite scale for our troubles. As well as whatever's over here. Soul of an Unknown Traveler. MC says they could finally get their revenge. Yeah! If you recall, in Bloodborne, in the Nightmare Frontier, there were, like, larger mutant versions of the Bloodshard, or Bloodstone creatures. They were pretty weak and, like, attacked us with poison, but they did fight back. These guys, I think, actually look cool as all get out. But, especially later in the game, they could be pretty powerful. Let's see what they gave us, though. Titanite Scale. Weapons forged by soul transposition can only be reinforced with Titanite of the same kind. In rare cases, crystal lizards devour souls, growing to monstrous proportion and leaving these great scales. Very good. There are other places to get and find Titanite scales in the world, of course. Now we're going to teleport back to Andre. And first things first, I want to see just how great the enhancement of our weapon's damage from totally unreinforced to +1 will be with the Crystal Rapier. If it's not that great, or if the weapon's scaling it in Fantastic, since they can only get up to +4, +5, I think, it may not be worth it, as cool as the weapon is.
Just gluttony.
First off, we'll reinforce the Estus Flask with another shard. Okay, we're good to go there. No, that's pretty good, with a B scaling on intelligence, meaning this will only get better as we go on. Or could we reinforce Arster's Sphere? Yeah, we could, but it's scaling it and quite as nice. So currently, the Uchigatana, we can actually upgrade again to, right around 190, 188, somewhere in there. And this would be 170 something. Why don't we go ahead and do both for now? You know me, I'm not terribly inventive when it comes to my weapons. Like to find something works and stick with it. We are going to teleport now back to, well, it should be back to the Road of Sacrifices in Farron Keep. Right? Because I'm gonna make sure I'm getting this right. That should be what we need to do in order to advance Henri's questline. You know Henri, the young lady we found at the entrance to the Crucifixion Woods? Yeah, so we're going to be fighting our first Lord of Cinder next. The Artorias Cosplay Appreciation Club. And Farron Woods are, more or less just Blighttown, but outside now. And you may notice these 3 massive flaming towers that can be seen over, like, the boughs of the trees, that we could see even from Lothric Castle. They're kind of important because they correspond to, I think, 3 switches we need to pull to open the door to the Lord of Cinder. So we want to head for one, then the other, then the last. But also, we want to explore the swamp and collect as much crap as we can. The leeches come back from Dark Souls 1, because, I mean, you know, why wouldn't they? Yeah, probably just best to go with the sword. Yeah, I'm sorry. I love the Crystal Rapier. It looks really cool. But the sword just deals so much more damage. So our primary humanoid enemies around here are these weird poisonous goat men called Gru. G-H-R-U. And, they come in a couple varieties. The most dangerous ones are totally unarmed, because they'll do this weird leaping dive grapple straight onto our heads, which will deal absurd amounts of damage. Titanite, thank you. Something in or near the ruined tower, yes. Estus Shard, hey! We'll take it. The first of our flaming towers should be right here. And also the first of our Gru. Yep, here they are. They're, interesting looking fellas, ain't they? Like always, or like most humanoid enemies we'll meet in this game, they've got like a sword, or in this case a dagger variant, and a spear variant. And what we want to do, sorry, they're not switches, we actually want to extinguish the flame. Oh, and man, if you want to see some great, like, really blatant Dark Souls 1 fan service, this is the right area for it. Hoo boy. We won't get into any of it for a little while, but it's gonna come hard and heavy for long. MC says this is not a bell. You know, I'm surprised that that one particular segment of the fanbase wasn't outraged over that. MC says this game is trash. Don't worry. Don't worry. Seriously, the fan service present in this area is so strong, and a lot of it's really, really bad. I can't wait to share that with you. Now, even though we've extinguished the flame, there's a fair bit more to be seen around here. Mainly some more Gru. And I do like the Gru. I think they're pretty interesting looking enemies that really fit an area like this. Rotten Pine Resin, that's the poison buff. Very nice to have. Most of the spells that are associated with poison, toxin, acid, and the like are traditionally found in the Pyromancy school. That's why we've not seen hardly any of those. But they do exist. I don't think... I mean, anybody more well-versed in Dark Souls than I am could tell me, but I don't think, believe it or not, the dark magic, well, the School of Hexes, have any, like, real status effects associated with it. Has any status effects associated with it. Okay, that might be everything. Oh, this is our first unarmed Gru. Oh, these guys are the worst. Here it comes. Notice also, it's really hard to stagger them when they're gearing up for one of those leaps, but not too bad. That could have gone a lot worse. More Titanite. Oh, we're already at our second tower. Nice. I guess they kind of give you a, not exactly linear, but simple path to follow to find all of these. But I also saw something at the top of this ruined chunk of road over here, or aqueduct. One or the other. Oh god, but the muck is so deep here. Damn you! Ah. Oh, the greatsword. That'd be nice for a different build anyway. And here we've got a Gru that has just totally lost the plot. Behaving much like a dog for this area. Well, since we're already this deep in and poisoned, might as well, Oh god. No, no, no! Oh, wow, that's a lot of them. Jeez, I don't remember this. I remember some other creatures lurking out in the really deep parts of the swamp, but not that many of these. Oh my god. They're not that tough, though. Not these, anyway. Oh, and one of them dropped Titanite. Okay, that's a... MC says, definitely not a Poop City reinvent. Well, did you know that Poop City was actually a greatly reduced, kind of simplified version of a stage from Demon Souls? Except, so Demon Souls is an interesting game, and in terms of overall structure, it's my favorite in the entire series, because here's how it worked. You had a central hub called the Nexus, and from the Nexus, you could access any one of 5 different distinct worlds that acted kind of like a spoke on a wheel. And in that world, with the exception of the world where the final boss could be fought, there were 2, like, archdemons that, or sorry, 2 regular demons that served as, like, bosses, effectively, at the end of specific stages, and then an archdemon who served as the boss of the overall world. And most of these demons had incredibly elaborate gimmicks and designs, more so than a lot of the bosses in Dark Souls 1, that's for sure. And one of these worlds, so basically a fifth of the game, the Valley of Defilement, was a gigantic, blighted, rainy bog, constantly, or inundated with poison and disease, and the wretched and defiled. It's a really cool-looking area, maybe not the best designed in the game, but really, really interesting, and it served as the principal inspiration for Blighttown, I believe. Hey, so you want to see some Dark Souls 1 fan service and be really sad? Look, it's the poor mushroom people. Our little buddies from the first game. Oh my god! What happened? I guess they both, like, just started combos at the same exact time? Oh, getting those souls back's gonna be rough. And the mushrooms are guarding something, too. Or rather, they're near something. MC says you joined the mushroom. Yeah, we sure did. Oh god, now we're gonna have to find our way back. Well, just hug the wall and we'll get there. Purple moss clumps. Hey, I missed those. Not. The Iron Flesh Pyromancy. That's interesting. I think, one of those, Forlorn Knights was using that against us. The guy with the big club. Oh, hey, check it out. It's the Basilisks. Yay. Totally didn't miss you guys. A moss fruit. Well, that is very much a thing. Oh god, you look so gross in HD. This is Blighttown if it was just like the Poison Bog that slowed you down and nothing else. Like, it looks much cooler than Blighttown did, but what do you think, MC? Is this better or worse level design? It's not a very big level, and much of it's optional, so I guess it's a little bit, maybe not as memorable, but better, honestly, if we're being objective. Like, it's bullshit, but it's bullshit that you willingly subject yourself to. And I've always got more respect for stuff like that. Man, I miss that ring that lets us just roll through all this. NC says, I would say it is different. Okay. Not better or worse. Yeah, it's... I mean, it draws heavy inspiration from Blighttown, but it's not quite the same thing. Blighttown's also very linear in a way that this isn't. I mean, like, just getting through, anyway. Large soul of a nameless soldier. That could be handy. Is that? No, that is not our last, tower. That is. Oh, sorry. Oh god, what? No! No, not now! Yeah, I forgot to say, she comes back. I don't know why, but she does. With all the basilisks, of course. Alright, well, let's deal with this disaster now. This is the last time we'll be seeing her, though, I'm pretty sure. Notice how much damage she does, though, like with a physical attack. Also, she's not getting poisoned. Anything else that can restore health? We're screwed. 7K plus souls down the drain. Are you kidding me? She walked right out of my backstab animation. God damn it! Oh, good day just keeps getting better. 7K plus souls down the tubes. I would say in terms of overall design, this, coupled with the Crucifixion Woods, is about as straight-up antagonistic as the game ever gets. It gets much better from here on out, I will say. Like, the first couple areas were great. If I'm being honest with my preferences for game design, this isn't. This is alright, I guess. But it gets a whole lot better, especially with the area immediately following this one. also pretty low on stamina, honestly. That's something I'll have to work on. There we go. What I don't get, though, is why they have an NPC quite as powerful as Hazel is invade you repeatedly, like, so early in the game. I think there are other NPCs who can invade us multiple times, but never that close in succession. MC says, I know why. Just like to subvert expectations, or because Dark Souls 2 was too easy, or what? Yeah, MC says people complaining about game difficulty. That's what I thought. And here we go. Well, let's see how she likes some poison. But look, 2 hits with her pick, and more than half of my health is gone. She's a mage, for Christ's sake. Not a pyromancer, like the typical warrior priests. Not a cleric with a mace. She's a sorceress. There we go. And I don't think we'll ever see any of her again. Now it's just a bunch of basilisks. That we can deal with. Saints alive, did she not even drop anything? I could have sworn she did this time around. Well, that's... Sorry, that makes it even worse. It'd be cool if, like, maybe you got the crown the first time you killed her, no matter where it was, and the pick the second time. But, like, give me some loot for that, you know what I'm saying? Ooh, a bunch of repair powder. That makes me feel slightly better. The good stuff, though, should be in this little cavern. The Golden Scroll, which is a sorcery expansion lore item. And check it out, it's Dusk of Ulaseel's set from the first game. The princess that we rescued in the DLC. So guess what the scroll gives us? Learn sorceries of Ulaseel. A golden scroll chronicling the vast research of the Xanthus scholars. Give to a sorcerer to learn the arts of Ulaseel. In the lost land of Ulaseel, the sorceries orchestrated light, and were said to shine in golden hues. That's true. All of Ulaseel's spells have to deal with, like, light and visibility, and they're really, really cool. Mainly PvP stuff, but if you couldn't guess between that and the Mushroom People, this used to be the Darkroot Garden. Apparently it got even worse, and speaking of even worse, meet one of the Giant Grue. Despite their appearance, and despite being powerful as all get out, they are mainly spellcasters, I want to say. And they can summon homing skulls just like Martyr Ligarius. Oh my god! Really? I think, again, to be fair, these guys are like the elite enemies of this area, but we are running into that Dark Souls or Bloodborne problem of everything deals so much damage so quickly, except you. Well, except in Bloodborne, to be fair, oftentimes you did too, but look at me just chewing through my embers. I think we can find the ring that lets us roll a bit faster or move a bit faster in, like, waist-high muck and water and things like that somewhere around here, kind of like you could in Blighttown, maybe? Or after you've been through Blighttown, anyway. But, yeah, I know we talked about this before, but you can look online. The people complaining about Dark Souls 2's difficulty and design, once in a while, well, some of them have perfectly legitimate complaints, but you can also find some absolutely hilarious stuff. A whole lot of people are very upset about the fact that, say, the elevator ride between Earthen Peak and Iron Keep doesn't make sense, like, with the world's geography. Like, that really peeved off a lot of people, which I guess, I mean, if you like really interconnected, geographically sensible worlds, that's fine, that makes sense, but, doesn't exactly make it a bad game, I don't think. And with that, we should open the way to the Lord of Cinder. Right like that. We've still got plenty to explore in this horrible swamp, though. MC says, see, my problem with this area is that you have monsters with bloodborne combat, kinda sorta, but you don't have the mobility for it. Yeah, no, that's true. Oh no, we're still missing one tower. I guess I forgot to extinguish one of them, my bad. But no, you're absolutely right. And we kind of had that same problem sporadically, like, earlier in the playthrough, but it wasn't quite so prominent because we weren't literally being bogged down. But, yeah, it feels like, to be fair, this game, again, in your hands, feels much better than any other entry in the franchise, Bloodborne included, for my money. But, it feels almost like they learned a couple lessons too many from Bloodborne. Like, okay, yeah, if you go back and watch footage of Dark Souls 2, like I've been watching other people's playthroughs, yeah, a lot of the bosses and enemies feel just a bit too sluggish, and like they give you too much time between attacks and maneuvers. That's a legitimate complaint. But enemies err a little bit too far to the other side of the spectrum in this entry, to my mind. Not much, it's not to where, like, it's a game breaker or as frustrating as a lot of Bloodborne's design choices were, but it is there. And apparently the basilisks will just follow you clear across country. MC says, I mean, most of Dark Souls 1's enemies are sluggish. No, they definitely are. I didn't mean to imply that was purely a Dark Souls 2 thing, I'm sorry. I meant, I've been watching a lot of Dark Souls 2 recently, and it's like, oh yeah, comparing this to that. But if you were to go back to Dark Souls 1 and do the same thing, I'd say you'd see the same problem, maybe not quite as much with bosses, but in general, just as much. I hate that attack. I hate that attack. I hate fighting these things. Oh my god! Woo. Okay, tell you what, we're just not fighting those guys. I give up on them. It's not worth it. I think the only things that any of them drop, like as a special unique drop for one of them, might be like a pyromancy or something like that, and we're not going in that direction anyway, so. MC says, I mean, most of Dark Souls 1's enemies are sluggish, but it's not as noticeable because the combat area is small. Yeah, that's very true. You're typically in really tight quarters in Dark Souls 1, and you're usually fighting one-on-one. In the other games, especially Bloodborne, but also Dark Souls 2, and to a lesser extent Dark Souls 3, you're usually fighting groups, even if it's like a couple, one or two or three really weak enemies. Those are all grab attacks, by the way. Drops Titanite, though, so I mean, I guess we can't complain about that. I will endeavor to complain about everything else in this game, though. Oh, but we're not too far from, like, Mount fan service. Just hold on, it's about to get real good. I think the problem with the giant Gru is, like, it's really cool that, okay, no. No, damn it! Most of these things' attacks, summon, like, little homing skulls that you have to dodge. That's a cool idea. Or some of their attacks do, anyway. But it's, like, literally all of them that do. So every time you're supposed to be trying to get in and get a hit in, on this thing that has pretty good coverage with its physical attacks alone, it's also summoning these skulls that are going to home in on you the second you do. Unless you get it to do, like, the really large swing, or embed its stump in the ground, which it follows up with an AoE. Like, it feels like it doesn't have quite enough of an opening, even for, like, a quote-unquote elite enemy. Okay. Whew. Now we can carry on. Seriously, I want to say there's like maybe 5 or 6 of those things in the whole game, so at least we're not overwhelmed by them. There's the door we need to open to access the Lord of Cinder. It's quite impressive looking. There's a bunch of leeches guarding a treasure in and around this tower. Now leeches I will happily fight all damn day. I can handle a leech or 10. Bring them on. Undead Bone Shard to power up the Estus Flask. Oh man, that's worth it. That's easily worth it. Okay. MC says, what I think the core problem or causing adverse reaction to Dark Souls 2 combat is that they were able to make bigger or far less dark areas, opening better reaction time to enemies and making them feel sluggish in comparison. That, and honestly, this isn't a huge black mark, because again, I had a great time with the game all around, but it is noticeable, is the bosses in Dark Souls 2 are noticeably slower when it comes to reaction time and recovery time than a lot of bosses in Dark Souls 1. Now, a lot of the humanoid bosses kind of avert that, with the notable exception of the Dragon Riders. But, I'll give you everything else. When the game did make really dark areas, like, say, certain parts of the Lost Bastille or the Gutter, that made the combat way more challenging and a lot... not even challenging, I should say, but far more tense. Okay, this tower. This is Fan Service Tower. Y'all ready? We got a Covenant right up here. With a very unusual... Hold on, I see treasure. I gotta go get the treasure. Can't help it. Can't help it. Wolf's Blood Swordgrass. That's what we're going to offer to this Covenant's kind of deity stand-in. Let's have a look-see. Proves a watchdog of Farron has met their duty. A leaf signifying a duty fulfilled by the watchdogs of Farron, who stand beside the old wolf to ensure the serenity of those at rest. Depicts a swordgrass leaf stained with dried blood. Long ago, the swordgrass leaf quietly identified members of the Undead Legion. In the rotted forest rest the spirits of warriors past. Their acceptance of and gratitude toward their guardians is expressed eloquently by the humble leaf. MC says, oh no. No. Oh dude, we've got a 1-2 punch. We got a 1-2 punch for this. Wait till you see what's at the top of the tower. Oh, we're gonna have so much fun. So, MC says, how dare you, Dark Souls 3. Yep, they did it. Ta-da! It's the watchdog of Farron, the old wolf of Farron. Believe it or not, it's alive. It's just totally dormant. And here, the Legion, or the Undead Legion, specifically like members of the Abyss Watchers, have laid down their armor at this very, their arms and armor at this very familiar looking gravestone. Let's get the Legion's bow and ask to join the Covenant from this very quiet wolf. And we'll get the Covenant. Sure, it's the Watchdog of Farron. They give you a cool little pendant. And we'll give him the sword grass. Sure. There you go, buddy. So, let's take a look. Ancient medallion depicting the crest of a wolf. Symbolizes the pact with the old wolf of Farron. Equipped to pledge oneself to the watchdogs of Farron. The watchdogs ensure that the warriors sleep in serenity by taking the form of loyal spirits and hunting down those who would trespass the woods of Farron. Basically, like mechanically, this is just the Forest Hunter Covenant from the first game, with players being summoned in to attack and duel players who are making their way through the Crucifixion Woods for the first time. So the same place where Hazel invaded, and you can summon Hodrick, and the two Forlorn Knights are, that's where you invade people. MC says I would stop playing the game right there and then if it was my first playthrough. So, MC, would you believe me if I told you I'm about to make you even angrier? Like, it gets worse. Twinkling Titanite, that's nice. We haven't gotten any yet. So, hold on. I thought I saw... Maybe there's an illusory wall somewhere around here? MC says, no, I would not be surprised. Oh, get ready for it, man. This is gonna be great. There we go. Dream Chaser's Ashes. This will give us more goods at the Shrine Handmaiden, so it's good we came here. Umbral Ash of one who dreamt of joining the Undead Legion. In the end, the dream chasers who wandered aimlessly in the rotted forest found a sense of fulfillment. MC says, but man, this is disrespectful to Dark Souls 1. I know that they basically just dumped Sif's corpse at the base of Artorias' gravestone and built like a shrine to it, and we're like, hey, here's the Forest Hunters. So what we're gonna do now is ride this elevator on up. We're going to a tower on that crumbling highway that overlooks Farron, so like the Great Wall. And you ain't gonna believe what's up here. I know I couldn't the first time I played. So first off, beautiful view, right? I mean, seriously, this is a gorgeous view of Drang Lake, Drang Lake's the good one, of Lothric, and you really get so many astonishing views of this this cathedral, which is where we'll be heading next. It's home to some of my favorite enemies and aesthetics in the entire game, but you could see Farron. So as much as I understand, or as much as I like sort of make fun of people who are really upset with Dark Souls 2 for not having the same kind of geographical continuity between areas, looking at views like this, I can appreciate their point, even if I don't think it merits the same kind of criticism of the game itself. But at the top of the bridge... oh boy. Get ready. He's back! Round 4! It's the Asylum Demon again! Except now his fire's gone out, he's old and dying, and he's just wandering around up here! We'll get back to him in a minute. But there he is! Like, what is wrong with them? You made me fight this thing 3 times! MC says, I mean, that's less of a problem. No, it's not, because we already killed this thing 3 times! It's the same guy! He has a different moveset now, finally. like, he's actually pretty tough. He's still got the butt slam, though. And he can, like, spit rocks at us now at range. Oh, ow. There is just one of it this time, though. Like, it doesn't show up anywhere else. This is it. This is the stray demon, or the undead, the asylum demon's last hurrah. Seems to be easier to fight him if you're not locked on, I find. Oh no! No, don't you dare! Don't you dare! There we go, and we finally get its soul. MC says, I mean, that's less of a problem with their copy-pasting of demons, and as a last hurrah, this would be fine. I will give you this. If we had not fought the thing 3 times in one game, where 2 of the fights were the same exact thing with a literal palette swap, this would be fine. Or, if this was not in an area that was already awash in kind of embarrassing fan service, it would probably be fine. In fact, if you could find this thing as a secret boss somewhere, that'd be cool. But the fact that it's the same thing, again and again, like they're just bringing back everything from Dark Souls 1 that they possibly can without rhyme or reason half the time, it's a bit much. In fact, compared to the unique, or at the very least aesthetically unique experiences the first and second game presented us, this is really kind of jarring. MC says the bridge is also the same. Oh. Well, we never fought it on a bridge, but there were plenty of bridges in the first game that looked like this. So let's take a look at... First off, we got a great axe, which would be pretty cool if we were going in that direction. The great axe is a pretty good weapon, like across the entire trilogy, as I understand it. But let's also look at the soul of the stray demon, which looks a bit different, doesn't it? The stray demon, now lacking even a trace of flame, was once the gatekeeper of Lothric. Sure it was. Now we can drop down and walk along the little protrusions here, all along the wall to get some special loot. Now that I'm done with my freak out for the day. Oh, Crystal Lizard. Hello. You'll make this all better, won't you? Twinkling Titanite? Oh no, large Titanite shard. That's still good. And we've got more of these dead. They call them wyverns, but they look a whole lot like dragons to me. Large Titanite. Nice. We can upgrade the sword again if we so choose. The Lightning Spear Miracle. Oh, the Dragon Crest Shield. Very, very nice. That blocks a lot of magic damage, right? It still requires more strength than we have, which is a shame, but yeah, a knight shield engraved with a crest depicting a dragon. One of the enchanted blue shields. The Dragon Crest Shield greatly reduces fire damage. Yeah, that's nice. We will need some more strength at some point just to make sure we can wield everything. Oh, yet another one. I do appreciate all the little crystal lizards here. Oh, and more of the Lothric Hollows? Wasn't expecting to see them here. MC says, oh, by the way, we'll be doing Bravos in the end. Yeah, I saw. That's totally fine. Looks like, honestly, if it's my first time doing, like, a tabletop role-playing thing, and in that, that system specifically, they'd probably be the easiest to learn. It seemed like probably the most complex crews would be, what, probably smugglers due to all the logistics involved, and then cults. Okay, is that it for the guardsmen up here? No, we got a couple more. Another longsword. Okay. Oh, and some poor pilgrim who just barely reached the gate, but doesn't have anything to offer us. Alright, did we get everything up from the top of this little stairwell? Is there anything to get up here? MC says cults have an extra step involving rituals and stuff. Yeah, I noticed. And, seems like there's just a whole lot of planning involved if you want to be a good smuggling crew. Smash and grab sound just fine to me, as long as I get to do my arcane stuff. Now down we go. We've, completed everything we can up here on the Great Wall of extremely embarrassing fan service. So back down to the embalmed corpse of Great Grey Wolf Sif we go. See, I actually think the Stray Demon is more egregious than this, because at least in, like, the lore, this is a different character. I mean, barely, but it is. That's just the same guy! As he says, I also think Bravos would be easier since we don't really know each other on a tabletop experience. No, that's a fair point, definitely. We can, like, learn how we all work together as a group, and then probably, if we want to, run a different type of crew in another season, or however it is the dev explained it. Okay. Leeches are gone. Oh, is that some Estus soup? Oh, hell yeah. A sunlight talisman. I think in the first and second game you could get something similar as like a reward for the Warriors of Sunlight Covenant, which is A-OK. No, it's in the first game it was Solaire's personal talisman. Thankfully, to my knowledge, we never run into, like, the mummified corpse of Solaire anywhere. Nameless Knight's armor. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know that I've ever gotten that before. Bunch of Titanite. MC says, yeah, we can always go back to the game as a cult in the future. No, just anything else. I was looking at the crews, and a lot of them look like they'd be really interesting, but kind of complex. Like, Assassins look like a lot of fun to me. The only one that just didn't scream, oh my god, this would be such a fun role-playing experience was Smugglers. And I'm sure there's a way you could run those to be, like, really enjoyable as well. We got a heavy gem. Again, weapon reinforcement, not really something... Or weapon transformation, not something I do a whole lot of. But it's cool to have all of these things around anyway. Hello, basilisks. Goodbye, basilisks. MC says, yeah, you could do your whispery stuff. That's all I care about, man. I've always been a huge fan of, like, magically and religiously oriented classes in role-playing settings. And seems like in that setting in particular, that's going to be a really, really powerful way to build a character late game, anyway. If it's anything like mage classes in most other RPGs I'm aware of, you start off as probably the weakest member of your entire team. Just keep rolling. That's a YouTube requirement, right? I've got to reference that song at some point in my career. We're almost out of the real thick stuff, I think. MC says whispers are definitely not the weakest. Oh, that's a refreshing change. Now that we've rested up, we can head out this way and try to get to our second, well, really the final, flame tower. And would you believe there's even more shameless fan service on the other side of that giant stone door? Ragged Mask. MC says, every class has its strength, but health-wise everyone's the same. That's really refreshing. Armor of a Nameless Knight. Crafted with thin metal, greatly reinforced by a grooved finish. The Fallen Knight armor, which is absolutely filthy, is really good. But I think we're good for now. Nothing beats the Lothric Knight set. That's generally true for most of the game. Pity we don't have just a little bit more of it, hey? So it looks like the deep areas of the swamp where we can't move around that easily have a bunch of lily pads and other flotsam and jetsam floating up on the surface, and the areas where we can move about normally do not. 10 prism stones. Thanks, I'll use them never. What else we got around here? Got a leech with an item. Oh, the stone shield. Is this the stone shield of the, like, Garden Guardians, or... Yes, it is. Okay. I was about to say, or is this like the Llewellyn stone shield from Dark Souls 2? Rotten pine resin. Good. Oh yeah, no, MC, I've read up on the stress system, or the resistance system, both of which I think are really cool. Fond of those, and I really like the idea of, like, preparatory flashbacks as well. That's bound to do wonders for game flow. Hey, you see that over there, man? You see what that is? Do you have any idea why that would be here, or why it is here? 'Cause I sure don't. That's a Dark Wraith, from the critically acclaimed, like, last generation title, Dark Souls. And it's here for some reason. Don't ask why. You'll be disappointed. I mean, to be fair, their armor looks gorgeous in HD, but, well, everything does. At launch, their sword was one of the most powerful weapons in the game for what it was, the Dark Sword. There we go. Oh, and we got 2 pieces of its armor, which is really good, actually. Its armor's, like, obscenely good for what it is. We'll, go ahead and throw that on. And look absolutely silly. MC says, I know what it's doing there. Invitation. Oh, we ain't done, believe you me. We got a coal, though. Another coal that we can use to infuse our weapons with special properties. Crystal, Blessed, and Deep Infusion. That'll be the good stuff. The white magic flame produced by this coal was given to the Undead Legion long ago by one of the Crystal Sage twins. The one we killed, I presume. We already cleared that. Yeah, that's the flame we need to go extinguish. So yeah, Dark Wraiths are in the game, and particularly they're all over this area for some reason. Okay, is there anything over there? I mean, there probably is. MC says, but yeah, flashback is a great mechanic and we've used it a lot. I'm sure. It sounds like a great way to get yourself out of, at the least, minor scrapes unharmed, or relatively unharmed. And it rewards creativity, which I really like. And with that, friends, we have a path open to, well, to a new bonfire and then to the boss, but we're going to want to stop back off in the shrine to improve our weapon once again, and drop off all of these items we've collected that can expand our merchants' repertoires. And just like that, the Abyss Watchers welcome us. That's a really cool visual, isn't it? Like the dark pathway lined with all the candles and discarded swords. It's... give Dark Souls 3 this, if nothing else. Its visual design is top-notch. Oh, another bonfire, that's right. And a Gru, I think that's a Gru mage in the back. These guys show up in a couple different areas, but usually not in the forms we see here. And he says, do you understand the mechanic of the clock for projects and stuff? Yeah, I do. I think I've got the broad strokes of it. It's a great way for displaying progress, especially when you're having to track multiple ongoing things at a time. Seems like a great tool for GMs. I really like that. And so now it's just us and the mage. And now it's just us. And I do like this. They give you a bonfire right in front of the door. So we will rest at it. The ruins of Farron Keep. And then take a little look-see, because as you can see, there's still plenty of treasure we haven't gotten, including whatever those mushroom men were protecting. And I just hate to leave stones unturned. Oh, this is where all of the feral Gru are. Right. At least, oh no. Big Crab 3. The Return. The next chapter. Oh no, 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 no. Hey, check it out though! The giant is helping us, because we've still got the branch and we're near one of the trees that always signifies his purge. Yeah, buddy, that's the way you do it! Man, look at me, I'm just destroying this crab, not even setting hands on it. And he opened it up for a visceral attack, so yeah! Oh, and it dropped one of the Dragon Crest rings? Nice. And Dusk of Ulaseel's crown. Well, that sure was an encounter. I don't know that I've ever done that before. Another Ember. We'll be needing those, believe you me. Gold pine bundles. The only difference between a bundle and a resin is a resin takes quite some time to apply to your weapon, like it did in the first and second games, and has a slightly longer duration, whereas a bundle can be quickly applied with like a little flick of the wrist, a la the paper items from Dark Souls or Bloodborne, Blood Souls, whatever. MC says, oh, we'll be going to a darker or more grounded tone, so things like how we came together, goals, character background would be useful. Okay, oh, we get the Sage's Scroll here. That's what I thought. It's yet another magic expansion item. I trust that means everything and everyone isn't going to have to be, like, extremely grim, a la most, like, modern television dramas circa 2008. I have an idea for a character. I have an idea for a character worked up that might fit what you're looking for. So the Sage's Scroll, let's have a look-see. Learn sorceries of the Crystal Sages. As any sorcerer knows, sorcery is a talent, and these sorceries were refined to nurture a very special talent. So this is where you get, like, I think some of Seath's spells from the first game, the crystal stuff, maybe. Now you'll see, there's 3 of these nightmares guarding an item. It's an item we definitely want, so let's get it. If we can. Or not, let's die and waste 26,000 souls. MC says no, but it means it'll follow the atmosphere of Duskfall. Oh, that's fine. Oh, getting my souls back is gonna be hell. But we can do it. We can do it. That's 3 down. Oh, how am I gonna get in there and get those souls without just getting eaten alive by the crew? Oh, well, my souls have been placed a fair distance off. That'll help, I mean. Thanks, game. Now let's go pick up one more bonfire. I think we've got all the big stuff from the swamp. We're finally done here. Oh, no. This is, I do like the visual indicators of the deeper areas of the bog. Like all of the detritus scattered on the surface. That's a nice touch, a really nice touch. So let's head a bit deeper and get ready to face the Lord of Cinder. But first, some Corvians. Not the most responsive fellas in the world, are they? Weird that we didn't see them at all throughout Farron, and there's just a few of them here, but... Oh, we got their Great Knife! That's really good, actually. It's a pretty good, short, small weapon. MC says, generally when we talk about a more grounded notion for role-playing game, it's more the idea that people do things for a reason. So, basically, if I'm understanding correctly, it just means there's a more fleshed out, like, lore for the group and characters and things like that, and more of a focus on narrative than, like, gameplay or, just doing silly things to entertain one another, for instance. Yeah, I can make that work. Not a problem at all. So I really like the atmosphere leading up to the boss fight, but we're not going to be seeing all of it right now because there's a little side path right over here. that has... Well, I was gonna say I thought it had something, but guess not. Whoops. Just a way back down, maybe to get some of the treasure over here if you didn't see it earlier. Yeah, MC says, the gameplay's still in effect, but it's not beat these guys because you'll get paid for it. Yeah, no, that's fine. I like that. I like a well-developed lore. Oh, did we miss one? I think we missed one. Got another knife for us? Aw. Let's take a look at that knife, by the by. Corvian Great Knife. Dagger of the Unwanted. Those guided by heretical storytellers. A rather large dagger with a powerful attack, but this transparent attempt to intimidate foes reveals much about its owner's fears. It's also just really, really big by the standards of daggers. I mean, check that sucker out. And for its special, it like reaches around an opponent's guard and goes to stab them in the neck. That's pretty cool. Oh, but look! It's more Dark Wraiths cutting through some Gru. Because, you know, why not? The so-called rule of cool is in full effect here. And they are just chopping through the Gru like it's nobody's business. God almighty. Oh, but the Gru actually took one of them down? Dang. So obviously our boss is through there. Like in the ruins of the old keep. Got a mask, that's okay. Red Eye Orb. Okay, so none of the really good stuff, but we did get some stuff. Another Ember. Cool, cool. A few more Gru to pick off around here, including, I think, maybe a mage might still be alive. Black Bug Pellet temporarily boosts either Dark or Curse resistance? One or the other. I believe they use a totally separate type of dagger than the Corvians. So as you can tell, things ain't exactly going all that well in there. MCS, tell me, are there any wheel skeletons? Oh man, I honestly don't remember. If there are, they're not terribly prominent. There are skeleton enemies in this game, in addition to the ones we saw around Velka's statue, and they're actually some of the coolest new enemies in the game, in my opinion. There's an entire country of skeletons. And here's the bonfire they charitably give you right before the boss. Is there anything to collect here? The answer, of course, there is. There's a giant crystal lizard to face down, too. We've got just enough Estus for me to feel comfortable giving it the old college try. The sound of like little crystal shards clattering and clanking around as it moves. Crystal breath? Oh, just like C. But a much weaker version of it, I believe. That's its most dangerous attack. It can roll after you if you're at like medium or long range. Generally want to avoid that, but this one drops us 2 Titanite scales, and there we go, baby. Great magic weapon. Now that's what I'm talking about. This is just a shortcut back to the Road of Sacrifices, and with it, the Black Knight. Let's give him one more try, shall we? This, as I said, this is the part of the game where, like, the fan service starts to get really intense. Between the Sith shout-out and the Stray Demon, the Black Knight, the Dark Wraiths, all here for no reason, mind you. The only ones that have any real justification for being right where they are the Mushroom People and, like, the Sith knockoff. Oh my god. And Sekiro, to be fair, doesn't have any really clear throwbacks. Oh, we got the Black Knight armor. That's really, really cool. Their stuff's great, but pretty heavy. We're gonna wear it for now, though. God, our armor looks disgusting. It's just a mishmash of like 3 different sets at this point. Goodbye. Now we're just gonna head right on back to Firelink Shrine to drop off all these insane items we've gathered, including that one Braille tome, the Kareem Braille tome with Arena. That one should be safe for her to read.
Ashen one, what woeful umbral ash is this? This barren dust, stuff of a fool, won't yield aught. Where didst thou happen upon the stuff? Tell me for the sport. Oh yes, I see. Clinging to lofty dreams in this dying world. More's the pity. It must come from one most foolish indeed. Wouldst thou not agree?
So what, that... either it doesn't give us anything, or she just wanted to, like, dunk on that guy. Either or. We can get the Crystal Sage's big hat, which might as well be Logan's big hat. MC says, I'm considering picking a cutter for blades, but waiting on fruit juice's pick. We're gonna need one. We're definitely gonna need a couple. Oh, and she now sells the life ring, raises maximum HP. Yeah, why not? 1,500 souls, that's not bad. Let's drop off our embers. Oh, and Grey Rot's back with more, stock. First up, we'll reinforce the Estus Flask. Do we have... yeah, just the one shard.
Oh, my. This coal is from the Undead Legion. Used to forge the weapons of Farron's Abyss Watchers. A fine prize. I'm honored to be endued with it. Now I'll be equipped to infuse special gems. Praise the gods, eh? Time to put this brawn to use. Well, well. What's the Undead Legion doing with a coal such as this? I'd heard one of the Crystal Sages had sided with Farron's Abyss Watchers. I suppose it must be true. You should know. This coal is imbued with magic. First one I've ever seen. Hardly a surprise.
So that begs the question, right?
Never been one for books.
Where is the rest of the Undead Legion? Well, we'll find them. MC says Andre feels out of place. Oh yeah, yeah, he definitely does. Definitely does. We can use the Twinkling Titanite to reinforce the Irithilian Straight Sword, which we're gonna do. We can reinforce our Uchigatana, might as well.
Brady, I go.
And that'll do it for now. Let's see what Greyrot has now that he's back.
Oh, hello. You've come at a good time. It took some prowling, but I finally made a score. Go on, have a gander.
So, a few more embers, more weapons, including special weapons. He's got, I think, is that the... Oh, baby! A curved sword used by Pontiff Sullivan's knights, frigid spirits that linger in Irithil. The large blade appears to be eaten away by insects, making it lightweight but brittle. Now that's my kind of shield right there. And the Pontiff Knight shield. This blue-gray shield, shrouded in a thinly cold air, is light and brittle. I love all of the stuff associated with Irithil. It's got this kind of supernatural, wintry lore all about it. Really cool stuff, y'all. MC says he's a sweet voice that would give some ease in the grim world of Dark Souls 1, but this world is not grim. Yeah, this world is just... Well, if we're taking all the fan service into account, this world's kind of sad in more ways than one.
Goodbye.
Our sorcery trainer should be... Well, hold on. Let's actually level ourselves up first before we do anything else. Oh, and throw on the life ring, of course. Raises maximum HP by like 5% or something, but it'll still do. Saint's Ring allows attunement of additional spells. We'll take that. And the Tear Stone we don't need just yet. MC says, what did the Dark Souls 1 people think of this game? Generally, this game was exceedingly well received, welcomed as a return to form and in many ways an improvement over the first game, after what to a lot of fans was a complete disappointment in Dark Souls 2, of course.
Welcome home, Ashen One. Speak thine. Very well then.
I think all of the acclaim certainly merited because it's a very good game, but... Okay, so what was our current project? We were gonna maybe... boost intelligence one more, and then pick up a couple in endurance, maybe? Endurance or vigor. We'll go ahead and go vigor for now. And then we'll pop all of those souls we've been collecting. Soul of a Nameless Soldier. Pop. 3k. Good, good, good. Fading Souls ain't worth hardly anything, but we'll eat them regardless. 650, it'll do. Deserted Corpse. 2,000. Large Deserted Corpse. 2,800. Unknown Traveler. Just keep it going, keep it going. I'm gonna try to afford the key to the tower that the Shrine Handmaiden's selling, if we can. And we definitely can, because it costs 20k. But yeah, MC, you can look online. People, especially the Dark Souls community, adored this game. We'll go ahead and take that. And do we have enough for one more level?
Very then hey.
No, not quite.
Farewell, Ashen Maiden.
But now that we can crack open that tower, why don't we go do that next? MC says there should have been an outcry for the excessive fan service, but no, understand, and I'm not saying everybody, I'm really not. For a lot of folks, especially the ones put off by Dark Souls 2, this is exactly what they wanted. Dark Souls 1, again, in terms of lore and world building and all that, with a lot of mechanical improvements. And again, the mechanics overall have been greatly improved. We've not yet reached the most excessive fan service in the game. We've gotten close. Farron is where... what's a good way of putting this? Farron is where the most nonsensical fan service in the entire game is. Like, oh hell, just throw some Dark Wraiths there, and here's something that looks a whole lot like Sif and Artorias' grave, and here's the Mushroom People and King Jeremiah, and all of this stuff, like without rhyme or reason. The fan service from here on out is more coherent in terms of lore, but it's no less gratuitous. It gets more gratuitous, in fact. Still don't have a seed for us. Hey, buddy? So this brings us over here where we can enjoy the, like, now cult classic Dark Souls platforming puzzle, or come to the very top of the tower to get special items. And MC says, but the world of Dark Souls has the late timbers of civilization fading. Well, Dark Souls 1 did. In Dark Souls 2, if you remember, the tone was decidedly, I would argue, decidedly more positive and hopeful, especially with, like, Lord Aldia's sincere wish that we could find a way that didn't involve destroying this world or feeding more people into, like, an abyss to sustain it. And in this game, if we work really hard, we could do just that. MC says was talking about people not complaining about the fan service. Oh, yeah. So what's up here? But the soul of a firekeeper. This is a very important item for later on in several characters' quest lines. Soul of a firekeeper who returned from the abyss. This firekeeper preserves the bonfire and serves its champion. She's said to have soothed and accepted the dark sigil which has tainted her soul, and yet her soul will one day embed itself in the bosom of another firekeeper. This, I think, is necessary to open or complete a couple quest lines, or maybe even open an ending. Let's call our elevator back on up. Then we're gonna ride down and tackle the platforming challenge? Yeah, so we want to go down there, see? If I can survive this jump. And I can! Oh, hey! And we get the Firekeeper's gear from it. Done up in the really cool looking, like, black and silver style of this game's Firekeeper, by the by. And down here... the Estus Ring! Oh, this is a must-have, you guys. The Estus Ring increases the HP absorbed with the Estus Flask, a green ring crafted from shards. This ring was entrusted to a certain Firekeeper, but in the end she never met her champion, and the ensuing tragic farce became a favorite tale of the masses. So does this mean if it's made out of shards, we could just, like, dash the thing to pieces on a rock and use it to get, like, 12 more charges of the Estus Flask? So MC provides a quotation. I think that fan service here may be directed at all the links with Dark Souls 1. There are a lot of references to it and similarities. Personally, I think it's normal since this opus is supposed to close the saga, but sometimes it feels more like a lack of ideas, as there are indeed many. Well, that, and let's remember, there are an outsized number of references compared to the game that immediately preceded this one in the series, which, even though it was produced by a different team, was intended to move forward with and reinterpret the lore in its own way. And the treatment of Dark Souls 2 overall, I feel, especially with all the references to Bloodborne and Demon Souls around, feels honestly really disrespectful to the work that that team put in. MC gives us another great quotation. It have fan service, but some fans are kiddos. What do you expect? There's fan service in Dark Souls 2, but nah, that game is perfect because of the previous game, and isn't like that when came out the people complain about it too. So, to make sense of a comment that I presume was intended to be coherent, they're basically saying Dark Souls 2 had fan service as well, but MC, tell me what you think. Weigh in on this for me. The fan service in Dark Souls 2 was considerably more constrained, with more allusions to things in the past than out-and-out representation of it, the gargoyles and Ornstein being the most notable exceptions. And didn't feel like it permeated the very essence of the game's design philosophy. Like, from day one, a bunch of people sat down around a conference room and said, okay, this game is about reminding people that Dark Souls 1 happened. Instead, it tried to do just the opposite and interpret that lore in such a way that it allowed the dev team to build on it, and people hated them for it. Next, we're going to visit our sorcery teacher
back then.
and drop off the scrolls we found.
I'm Orbeck of Vinheim, here to teach you sorceries. Let us begin with the basics. The ideal sorcerer bears the twin faces of the dragon. You could at least act as if you're paying attention.
He knows we don't care.
To claim lives recklessly, friend. Do not be tempted. No matter the victim's stature, every killing has a consequence. Even as I bloodied my hands, I never realized this simple truth.
MC says, Ornstein is as much of a reference to Dark Souls 1 as Sif is here, except Dark Souls 2 handled it well. This is trash. Well, yeah, because, again, we weren't constantly being hit in the face with things from the first game in the second one. Yeah, do I think you could have handled Ornstein and the gargoyles? Maybe not the gargoyles, but Ornstein a little bit better in the lore, like giving him more of a reason to be there? Yeah, absolutely. But the entire game wasn't just wall-to-wall references and in-the-flesh depictions of things from that game. But again, I would argue if you gotta play one of these games, just play Dark Souls 3. I mean, the level design of the first game's really cool, but yeah.
I don't mean to seem inextreme.
Alright, we'll give him our scrolls, of course. We're going to buy Magic Weapon, because they are the best spells for us. But we'll give him first the Sage's Scroll.
Oh my. This is stupendous.
I really like this system again. You have fixed trainers, and you bring them items dripping with lore from the world to expand their repertoire.
I doubt I ever would have made this discovery alone. Now, let us unravel the thing, so you may put these new sorceries to use.
So they've got, just a couple new spells, it looks like. The Farron Dart and Great Farron Dart, I believe, are new. As is the Pestilent Mist. Release a cloud of mist that eats away at HP. Highly dangerous sorcery employed by Dragon School spooks, only taught to trusted members. Releases dense mist that eats away at HP. Beware, as the caster is not immune to its effect. A body caught in the silent mist cloud lies still, while the face twists in a tortured scream. The names of these learned sorcerers become feared for this gruesome spectacle. That sounds like a really cool spell that has a requirement of 30 intelligence, so we're never going to use it. Oh, we also get the Farron Hail that fires out, like, the massive rain of soul darts. This is the, like, sort of rapid-fire spread shot thing that Hazel was using. Entrusted to the leader of the Legion's acolytes, and apparently a sorcery of his daughter, Hazel, that was refined by a crystal sage. Yeah, there you go. Now we'll give him the Ulasil scroll.
Oh my. Well, this is very unusual. It's from Ulasil, an ancient land of golden sorceries. Not even the Dragon School possesses such a long-lost scroll. What would the Xanthus scholars say with their ridiculous headwear? They would simply slaver over this find.
MC quotes another great comment they found online. There is no half-naked women in this game casting fireballs at you, Ain Mower, frowny face. See, that's funny. Because guess what one of the very few NPCs returning from Dark Souls 2 happens to be? Yes, the desert sorceresses. They heard the fandom. Oh, Ulasil gives us the repair spell, which we definitely want. Lost sorcery from Ulasil, land of ancient golden sorceries. I also really appreciate how the actual model of the scroll behind the image is different depending on where it comes from. You've got like the standard gray scroll, you've got this darker kind of corroded one for the Crystal Sage's scroll, and all of these sort of silvery looking ones with gold icons for Ulasil. While the effects of this spell are rather subtle, its foundations are a well-guarded secret. Light is time, and the reversal of its effects is a forbidden art. We'll buy that, yeah.
Again.
Our pyromancy teacher's here, might as well say hi to him.
There you are, unkindled one. I wish to express my gratitude for trusting a lowly pyromancer and allowing me to gaze upon this majestic flame. As promised, I will impart pyromancies to you. But first, you'll need a flame of your own.
And he just gives us a free pyromancy flame. How nice is that? I really like all the trainers in this game. They are sweet, sweet people by the standards of Dark Souls world.
Do not be... What is it?
I wish I could get into pyromancy, but I just never have run a build that uses it extensively.
Oh, did you wish to hear?
So we'll give her a Divine Tome. Not Londor. We'll give her the Kareem Divine Tome.
Oh, you've brought me a Braille Divine Tome. Now I can tell new tales of miracles. Tales of the greater miracles can be quite the epics. What fun we will have.
Yeah, so we get, I think, Med Heal, Replenishment, Tears of Denial, maybe.
Have a pleasant, I pray for you.
Just a few additional miracles. Since they come from Kareem, like a land now known for its proficiency with miracles, we don't get like any special-looking lore or item or spell images or anything like that. And we can actually finally transpose the soul of the stray demon. One of two ways. We could get the Boulder Heave Pyromancy that allows us to spit out a giant boulder. Art of a Stray Demon of Stifled Flame. The boulder is heavy but shatters easily. Or we can get Havel's Ring from it somehow to increase our equip load significantly. A ring for warriors keen on heavy accoutrements. Increases maximum equip load. This ring was named after Havel the Rock, the battlefield compatriot of Gwyn, the First Lord. The art of war has been a constant since ages past, and those who would follow in Havel's footsteps are no fewer now than in his own day. We will be back for that ring very shortly. But first things first, let's go ahead and attune a spell or two. Great magic weapon, and OG magic weapon. And we'll now travel to the Farron Keep perimeter. So we'll have to fight our way through or dodge our way around the Dark Wraiths really quickly, the Dark Wraiths and the Gru. But then we'll be ready for the boss fight. Are you guys ready for this? I promise you, the boss is actually really, really cool. Yes, it's a massive, like, Artorias worshipping cult, but the fight itself, mechanically at least, I think, is one of the most brilliant in the series. Oh yeah, this sword's already doing quite a bit more damage just from that one additional ascension. Looks like the Gru handle one while I get the other. That works for me. Whew. Down he goes. Cracked red eye orb. Okie dokie. There we go, now I'll leave him to it. Or not. They're really vulnerable after their stance attack, though. Red eye orb, okay. I'd love to get the full armor set, but we're fine for now. Got a couple spearmen here. Including one that's just freaking out. Oh, hell with it. Just get in the door. Use our catalyst to put some magic on that and get ready for it, y'all. Our first Lord of Cinder, the Abyss Watchers of Farron. MC says, I like how when people talk about fan service in Dark Souls 3, the fans miss the point. Oh yeah. Yeah. Check this out, though. They're all dead. And yeah, this entire military unit collectively served as a Lord of Cinder. And they've been here so long that they've just gone completely insane from fighting the creatures of the Abyss. So, while we try to fight them, or at least the boss, this guy, the commander of the Abyss Watchers, other weaker Abyss Watchers are going to be trying to cut him and us down as well. It's going to be a free-for-all until the second round. This is one of the best fights in the series. Might take me a little while to learn it again, but God almighty, it's good. They have an extremely dynamic combat style. Oh, am I too heavy? Oh crap, I'm fat rolling. No! The catalyst is too heavy. Okay. We can salvage this. We just gotta wait until another Abyss Watcher spawns to distract him. There we go. And he's not significantly stronger than we are. He can be backstabbed, pretty sure he can be parried. Oh, but this one's against us now. Oh my god. The red-eyed ones will attack the commander, maybe? I thought they would. Oh no. As I said, gonna have to relearn this fight. Hardcore gonna have to relearn this fight. Notice they just keep getting back up. They are truly undead. There we go. That's more like it. But guys, the Age of Fire's great. Don't worry. This is totally sustainable. I love that attack where they like send the swords skidding along the ground, shooting sparks up everywhere. That's really nice. Round 2, we're gonna die hardcore. Remember, they're Lords of Cinder, just like we're supposed to be, eventually. Meaning they haven't popped an Ember yet, but they can. MC says, see, not a Dark Souls 1 reference, great content, I like the boss. Well, it's a comparatively subtle Artorias reference. And I think the subtlety of it kind of helps here. So now, the Lesser Abyss Watchers will not be joining the fight any longer. It's just us and the Commander. Okay, so now he gets a lot more acrobatic, but doesn't have his backup anymore. Okay. As you can see, the second phase, at least once you learn most of the moves, actually isn't nearly as bad. Oh, no. Hey, that was a really good first attempt back, though. Like, after not doing that fight in ages, that was not so bad. MC says, but the subtlety indicates that the Embers were always present even in Artorias' time, also means that people may have picked up where he left off. Yeah, no, they were dedicated to continuing his mission in fighting the Abyss. And just, as ever, it didn't go great. MC says this is how you do a good callback. No, yeah, I agree. This is much better. Much better than a lot of what we've seen so far. Whew. Oh, poisoned again? Are you friggin' kidding me? Well, we got their spear, which is poisonous, of course. Whatever shall we do? I'm thinking they weren't super duper weak to, the magic, so maybe we could go dark? I mean, darkness hasn't failed us yet. Just generally being more aggressive in the first phase will be beneficial as well, I think. Not giving the others quite as much time to spawn up. Now we'll just let them wail on each other. think one of them might res every time that the bell rings. There we go. That's better. Now if I can just do as well in the second phase as we did the first time around, we should be fine. Now remember, like Lady Maria, I don't know if you noticed, when he swings his sword in the second, or they swing their sword, I think their gender is left ambiguous ultimately, in the second phase, the little lashes of fire extend along the sword's arc after the fact, making it kind of dangerous to swing in the direction of their weapon. Basically, we want to wait for those flips and punish with backstabs where we can. Oh god. That is their most powerful attack. Little off base there, buddy, but... strategy for this when I first played the game. I've totally forgotten what it is by now, though. Okay. Good. Oh, man. Okay, I think I might have figured out our problem. Our shield blocks most damage, but it doesn't block all damage, and it's also relatively frail. If I get some big, bulky, like, metal thing and clamp that on, if you've noticed, I can set them off balance when they attack with the dagger. So if we get just a slightly stronger shield, preferably one with, that ain't great fire absorption, but it'll do. And increase our fire damage resistance with this ring. Yep, that'll be fine. We might be good to go. That's what I'm thinking. Also, I think my first time fighting them, I was using a Dark Sword, one of the Dark Wraith's weapons, and its moveset and reach, believe me, is a lot better than the katanas. It's also a lot faster. We can, of course, parry these guys, or not these guys, but the Abyss Watchers, but that's a pretty heavy ask, for me anyway. Better players can do it pretty effortlessly, but that is definitely not me. Okay, so we made it past them. Let's chew on one of these green blossoms. And this time around... Wait, why don't we actually go ahead and put some charcoal on there? Even though they're Lords of Cinder, they are also undead. Thank you, that's exactly what we were waiting for. That's more like it. Use those big boy attacks that leave you wide open. Okay, so it's definitely the red-eyed ones that... Well, no, they all attack each other. I don't know what the distinction is there, then. Might be, like, damage output or something? Would you believe that we can get their moveset? Like, this exact moveset, more or less? Oh, come on now. Just gotta clip them. Come on, there you go. Thank you. The theme for their fight is absolutely gorgeous, by the way. I'm noticing there's also a ton of potential variations to their combos, like they can or cannot use, or they may or may not use certain moves at certain times. Like within a combo, they're not like fixed, I don't think, are they? Also, thanks to the flame effect, they have, frankly, obscene reach in Phase 2. Being able to abort some of their combos like that, though, is a best practice. There we go, dodge around the fire. Dodge on the side of the parrying dagger. God almighty, you're fast. But I'm terribly stubborn. A trait that always ultimately wins out in these games. There we go. MC says, no, yeah, the combo varies. That's what I thought. So we get a couple interesting things. We get the Cinders of the Lord, and the Soul of the Blood of the Wolf. Notice, it's not the soul of the Abyss Watchers. It's the soul of the blood that tied them all together. And yeah, it's the same wolf that we saw, like, passed out at the foot of that headstone. MC says, well done, but no cigar? Oh man, it's fine. That fight will always take, I think, players that are either rusty and not all that great, like myself, or brand new a couple tries, because it's just a really well done dual boss fight. I love the visuals of the arena and the soundtrack. I really like the distinction between having a pretty easy, low-health enemy present in the first phase to give you an idea of what their moveset is like, while the real stress comes from the Abyss Watchers constantly rising up to try to pile on you, and then, in the second phase, reducing that to one enemy with a greatly enhanced moveset with fire damage and after effects and all of that. It's just really, really well done. One of the better dual bosses in the entire series, I dare say. And then the Soul of the Blood of the Wolf. The blood was spread amongst the Abyss Watchers, and their souls are one with the soul of the Wolf Blood Master. So technically we just got that wolf's soul, not theirs. And then we have the Cinders of the Lord, which is just a bunch of their heads, or their skulls, more or less. Cinders of a Lord left by the Abyss Watchers. If the Lords will not return to their thrones themselves, let them return as cinders. The Watchers of the Abyss swore upon their shared wolf's blood, which also served as their mandate as lords. So it was by virtue of possessing the power of the wolf's blood that they were able to become lords. That's what gave them the strength necessary to burn themselves as kindling for the fire. And with that, the first leg of our journey is done. We've got 3 more lords. And the path to the rest of them, or the spans between them, should be nowhere near as long as the path between the start of the game and the Abyss Watchers. We have time for one more area today, I think. That cathedral we've been seeing everywhere. But first things first. Oh, we can talk to Aegon. He's finally here.
I know you. Been some time. I just dropped in to see how she's getting on. Now, what are you playing at with this circus? This cesspool of doddering old folk and degenerates. Couldn't be better. She must fit in perfectly here.
MCS, is there a reason why the cat of Dark Souls 1 merged with the wolf of Dark Souls 1 to make a Dark Souls 3 entity that has nothing to do with with either of them at all?
This place is a good...
Nope. Nope, not really.
Hello again. I have since heard a great deal about you. For one, that you are most gentle of heart.
Yep, that's definitely us.
I, too, am bound by duty, but can offer you my sign. I hear that cordial intrusion lays the path to embers. If I can be of help, by all means.
So now she'll assist us with certain boss fights.
The moon upon your journey.
And we get the Dark Moon loyalty gesture. You know what that means, and who that means. MC says, because the fans insist that there's a lore explanation for everything in this game. I'm sure there is. I just haven't the patience to track that particular tidbit down. But now what we can do is place the ashes of the Abyss Watchers on their throne. This actually looks really cool, and now they're in their place, totally willingly. We're the good guys. To be fair, the Abyss Watchers are one of the lords that could not return, though, because they had gone hollow and mad, like, long ago. Now, there's one more area I think we can get to, or should want to get to, before we head for the cathedral, which shouldn't take us long at all. The cathedral is a very well-made area, but it's fairly short. Technically, in, like, the quote-unquote ideal progression order a lot of people use, you're supposed to head to the cathedral before Farron Woods. So I guess we might have just kind of sort of accidentally sequence broken a teensy tiny bit, which is pretty cool. Oh, we get the seed now. Nice. Now if we go all the way up here, and then roll down onto the roof of Firelink Shrine, but not that Firelink Shrine, we A, can kick a little ladder down to make for easier access. Bam. And can find, I think, a couple items scattered around up here, including some old friends.
Me, Pickle Pea. Me, Bumperum.
Yeah, so the invisible crows that you can trade with return once again, as they've been in every single game in the franchise aside from Bloodborne. The first one appeared in Demon Souls, and could give you some really good items if you had the right stuff to trade. I think it's cool that they've been brought back. That's totally fine, because it's not the same character in every game. It's like a different crow fulfilling the same function. Oh, and we're also now in the rafters of Firelink Shrine. Estus Shard just hanging around up here. Guess Firekeeper couldn't have bothered to tell us about that. That's fine. That's fine. And there is, believe it or not, an illusory wall here. And just like in Dark Souls 1, you now have to strike illusory walls to reveal them. You don't press the action button. And this brings us to this elevated little ledge here. Oh, one moment, y'all. Gotta have a quick snack. I'll be right back. Alright, we are back. One moment. MC says you can roll through illusions in Dark Souls 1. Oh, I know. I think you can here as well. I just mean, like, you don't have to interact with them to reveal little, like, sliding doors and the like. We got the covetous Silver Serpent Ring, which honestly is pretty friggin' good. Fallen foes yield more souls. Seeing how difficult souls are to get your hands on in this game, that might not be the worst ring in the world. And we're about to get our hands on one of the best rings in the world, Havel's Ring. And you can use the soul of the Abyss Watcher's wolf to get either the Wolf Knight's Greatsword, which is definitely not Artorias' Greatsword, certainly not. Greatsword of a Knight tainted by the dark of the Abyss, and Master of the Wolf's Blood of Farron. The Wolf Knight was the first Abyss Watcher, and his sword is more punishing against creations of the Abyss. I actually think this fan service is just fine, because it relegates Artorias to like a nameless figure of myth, like a lot of characters were in Dark Souls 2. That's fine, that's good. But here's what we really want. The Farron Greatsword. Greatsword of the Abyss Watchers, which is atypically paired with an unusual dagger. The dagger is utilized as a wedge in the left hand, while the Greatsword is held in the right. A unique technique that was synonymous with the Undead Legion. Confounds foes in the manner of wolves hunting prey. This gives us the Abyss Watchers moveset, and it's cool as all get out. Anything else from her? Okay.
Welcome, Housepeak. Ashen One. Silent Ashen.
MC says one of the explanations for Dark Souls 1 stuff being in Dark Souls 3 is that it's a sequel and time and space is weird in 3. That's fair, but then you would also expect more Dark Souls 2 stuff, no?
Very well, then take note.
2 more levels? Okay, where do we want to put them? More attunement, maybe. Drop those suckers in, well, we'll get 1 more strength, but drop that sucker in stamina for now.
Farewell, Ashen Maiden.
Oh, we got a shard. Can't forget about that. MC says, but the people making that argument do not consider Dark Souls 2 as a sequel and hate the time-space issue concept. Right, like with Iron Peak, yeah? Oh, and we will come across at least one instance of, like, a level transition making absolutely no sense in this game. It's way more subtle, to be fair, than the Iron Keep thing, which was a little jarring. But it's still there. We'll see.
Oh, and you can keep as...
Okay, anything new from Greatrot? No key items.
Goodbye.
There's one area I'd like to see if we can go. One moment, I'm going to check, in fact. We've already burned all our own undead bone shards, right? Okay, good. Now we head back to the Crystal Sage bonfire. Remember, we didn't actually go past that little courtyard? MC says, also that wolf is definitely not Sif according to the community. Oh no, it's not. It's clearly not. But, it's just... well, first off, it's a black wolf instead of a gray one. It's nowhere near as large. But, I mean, the fact that it's basically just the same thing in a very similar looking set piece. Feels a little lazy to me, maybe. But I get it. You want to give the people what they want, and that's what they wanted, and in that regard, the game is a success. And again, it's not a bad game at all. I quite like it. Oh, hey, it's another one of those big guys with the machetes in a cage full of people. That's not great. So instead of the life ring, we're going to equip Havel's ring to give us a little bit more wiggle room with our armor. Oh. What you got for us, little lizard? Twinkling Titanite, nice. MC says basically another wolf decided to guard a similar tomb. Yeah, so, you know, not the same thing at all. Twinkling Titanite, again, good. So it's an evangelist and a couple of these guys. Nasty. But look, we're almost to that cathedral. The cathedral we could see from just all over the place. Anything that's just across the board better than the dark leggings? No, there's not. So we're still a mishmash, but not quite as ugly for it. MC says, I have a superb explanation for it. Let's hear it then, man. One that would make everyone uncomfortable and amuse me. Okay, go for it, man. Sith had children. Oh yeah, I guess that could be a thing. That's not in the least a really grotesque sight, is it? What are they guarding? Oh, the Herald's armor, another one of the starting classes sets that you can find. I do like that they make all of those available to you pretty early on in the game. Those charged heavy attacks are no joke now. Learning to use them properly might be a little tricky, but some good fun. Once you know how to. So what we're going to do is get the first bonfire in the cathedral, then we're going to head back to Firelink Shrine, because I looked it up during a loading screen. There's one thing we need to get real quick. From Ringfinger Leonard. Apparently, if we talk to him after a certain point, we can continue his quest line, which we definitely want to do. So, I promise you we will get inside this thing soon. MC says, Sif had kids at Dark Souls 1 murdered their parent. Oh yeah, no, I mean probably. MC says Dark Souls 1 fans are monsters. So this, for the record, is the Cathedral of the Deep, the religion headed by and ultimately celebratory of Saint Aldrich. You know, the giant cannibal priest that ate so many people and became so fat that he exploded into a massive pile of viscous black sludge and currently serves as a Lord of Cinder. Which, again, is just my favorite part of the lore of this game. I love him so much. Oh, we can talk to this guy now.
The undead Legion of Farron is a caravan of undead, sworn by wolf's blood to contain the abyss. The Legion will bury a kingdom at the first sign of exposure.
Yep. So anytime a country would play around with magic associated with the dark or the abyss or whatever, if the undead Legion, the Abyss Watchers, found out about it, they would destroy the entire country.
Flames of 3 altars opens the door to the wolf blood. Even accursed undead want to believe they're special, it seems. I pity the sorry souls. Gaining admission to the Legion is a matter of some ceremony.
Notice he's wearing what looks like knockoff Abyss Watcher armor.
The flames of 3 even
Anything else for us?
I pity
oh no.
the sorry.
I totally skipped that, I'm sorry.
I failed to thank you. for helping them find their final resting place.
He gives us the Farron ring.
I pity the sorry souls.
Nothing new. Okay. What does this ring do? Reduces, like, weapon skill FP consumption. That'd be useful for some builds, definitely. A ring given to the Undead Legion of Farron. Reduces skill FP consumption. The Abyss Watchers, for their hunting, required a sword technique that went beyond any existing art. Wolf's Blood provided just that, and this ring further extends the effect.
Well, hasn't it been some time?
No, it's been about 2-3 hours in-game.
Remember me? I slipped you those red eyes sometime.
Remember, the sorcerer who kept invading us was Yellowfinger Hazel.
If you yearn for a proper red-eye orb, one that is uncracked, then kill the Dark Wraith, survivor of the man swallowed by darkness. He has been a prisoner for many ages, in the deepest cell in all.
This is a really good throwback, by contrast.
I can see it in your eyes. If you didn't invade, didn't pillage, whatever would you do?
So yeah, if you remember, there was a locked door we couldn't access on the High Wall of Lothric, and inside that, or beyond that door, is a very special, like, Hypogean cell that contains, of all things, a Dark Wraith, one said to have been guarded in the deepest, darkest reaches of the kingdom away from prying eyes for ages. If there was just that one Dark Wraith in the entire game, and, like, it either gave you its entire set, or the means to start a quest line that would allow you to get the entire set, that'd be great, really well-executed fan service. Like, hey, this esoteric order of, like, malicious warriors from the first game are almost entirely wiped out, but there's still just 1 or 2 remnants left prowling around. MC says, the more I read about Dark Souls 3, the more I see Dark Souls 2 story in Dark Souls 1 mythos. I can kind of see what you're going for, but give us a little more information about that. What exactly do you mean? I think this is an interesting claim. Raw gem. I do like that even very early game enemies can give you weapon reinforcement materials or enhancement materials. That's cool. Some fire bombs. Nice. Now, if only I could find the lift chamber again. Might be back this way. And look at all them souls, though. I mean, I won't say no to them. Again, visually, the game is just so impressive. Everything you see, everywhere you go. No, that's the lift that'll take us down to the base of the high wall, I think. Whoop! Oh, did we miss a couple somehow? Okay. Not a problem. Whee! It does feel really good, like, running through an earlier area once you're sufficiently tough enough to not exactly tank everything, but tank a lot of things. Well, that got rid of most of the guards. Another raw gem. Woo! Now we'll have the Lothric Knight here, remember. Somewhere. Hey, buddy, you want to drop some of your gear, maybe? Yeah, you know you do. Give me that good gear. Aw, no dice. MC says, I mean, the entire premise of Dark Souls 2 is that you're trying to restore the flame while time and space is kind of breaking down, having a dark entity screwing around the power in place. Dark Souls 3 is kind of taking that idea back, but wants it to fit into a Dark Souls 1 extended story, like an extended universe. Yeah, I can see that. Definitely. Good observation. I guess you could say in this game, though, we're the Dark Entity, because we're working with Londor to try and put a stop to all of this mess. Like, if we and the Sable Church of Londor, which, what a cool name for an organization, right, get our way, none of this is ever going to happen again. The world isn't gonna end, there's not going to be some great calamity with the Abyss running wild. We're just going to restore a sensible, peaceful order to the world by doing away with the First Flame. Here's the lift chamber, and get ready for one of the coolest visual setups for an encounter in the game. Seriously, this is brilliant. You come down here, and there's the remains of all these Lothric knights, and there's the one Dark Wraith just standing right at the center of it all. Totally, like, heedless of all this destruction. That is badass. So is this. MC says it is interesting, though. Yeah, it is. It really is. So he gives us a proper red eye orb, one that isn't cracked, so we can use it indefinitely. And I think that might be all that's down here. Well, still cool to see, regardless. Well, while we're down here, why don't we go ahead and pop a homeward bone. Head back to the shrine bonfire, why not? And one thing really cool in this game is, they're even though they're not called hexes, there are, like, basically, hexed pyromancies that you can find. It's a tough find most of the time, but you can track them down, and they are really, really cool. Right, so Cathedral of the Deep. This is also the touching off point for the first DLC, by the way, the Cathedral. MC says, because you could make the point that the time-space breaking being an omnipresent element of both games means they would happen simultaneously, or close to one another. You could, if you put that to the forefront of the lore, like made it a really consistent aspect of the game's world and lore. But in Dark Souls 3, the implication is space-time doesn't really start to break down until the very last act of the game. Whereas in Dark Souls 2, by my reading anyway, it was more or less persistent. And we've got a swordsman here. This can only end well, right? A powerful, hostile NPC. Y'all know how well I do with these kind of fights, right? Oh, I actually opened him up, but he rolled away in time. Who on earth is this guy? Woo! Got throwing knives of some kind. And he's got a bandit's knife in the offhand, I think. He's fighting with, like, maybe a knockoff Abyss Watcher style. I like the cloak. I really like the cloak. MC says, or being mean to the second game, Dark Souls 3 happens, or Dark Souls 2 happens after Dark Souls 3, but before you restore the space-time continuum. Basically, Dark Souls 3 making Dark Souls 2's story non-existent. Well, they didn't need an in-lore justification for that, they just up and did it. Oh, we got some ashes, though, the Paladin's ashes. Umbral ash of a worn-out Paladin who sought the Cathedral of the Deep. The Paladin paid quite a price for his headstrong justice. Notice he's collecting one of the Undead Hunter's charms that prevent Estus use, which is important because there's enemies in this cathedral that will use those very items, I believe. Well, that's cool. Anything like over here? The cathedral's located in a gorgeous area, and the cathedral itself is breathtaking. The standard crest shield. What does this one do? Dragon Crest has better numbers overall. Crest Shield, the Crest Shield greatly reduces dark damage. This one greatly reduces fire damage. Tell you what, I like dragons, why not? MC says, I also think the story of Dark Souls 1 is pretty straightforward compared to 2 or 3. Yes, definitely. They've also had so much time to, like, iterate upon it, and, like, fan theorists pitch it. No, you don't. Oh my god. We fell right on top of a bandit. That is a very bad place to be. So he used his weapon art, which I think greatly increases the damage dealt with, like, his axe for a short time. Ooh. No, not again, god damn it. NPCs are way more aware of and aggressive towards your stamina in this game. That's him done, though. And notice that is the exact, like, brigand's armor, weapon, and shield from the first game. We got the spider shield, though. That should be worth it. And while we're here, we'll just rest at the bonfire to get those flasks back. I don't think they respawn. I don't think. Oh, doesn't look like it. Finally, new area time. The Cathedral of the Deep. We won't be able to get in through the front gates right now, though. Oh, Jesus Christ. So we'll have to open up, sort of a back door. These, standard hollows are back, though. Again, I'm pretty sure they're called Grave Wardens. We've not seen them, save the sorcerers in, and around the Crystal Sage's encampment. MCS, did I read a little through the factions of Blades? Yeah, in fact, right where my PDF is paused currently, or I guess where you could say where I paused my reading last night, I was about halfway through the in-depth write-ups of various factions. They got some cool stuff in there. He says I was quite impressed when I noticed the sheer number of factions. Oh, ditto. In that regard, it's also very similar to the Fallen London / Sunless Sea universe. Tons of, like, political factions and powers you can ally yourself with or against, or position yourself against. There we go. I finally got it out. I'm good at communication. That should clear all of those guys out. Is there anything to collect around here? Don't think so. Now you just gotta make our way into the cathedral proper. You can see that love of headstones really carried over from Bloodborne. Okay, so this guy, the Grave Wardens carrying flaming blades are special because they will attempt to, like, just dive bomb you and basically commit a kamikaze attack. We definitely don't want that. Anything in the well? Not that well. They were guarding an Estus shard. Very nice. I do appreciate that we get a lot of Estus shards early on. But in here, we can access this little chapel. It won't give us full access, I think, to the entire cathedral yet. MC says, we definitely did not burn down the Lampblack's headquarters in our first playthrough. Man, I'm saying, obviously working as a Whisper, I would want to do this. No matter what we end up doing, we've got to take down, like, the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh. Just think about all the wealth, all the resources they would have. Like, I mean, I know that's a late-game goal, if ever, but man, oh man, would it be worth it. So we've got this gorgeous little chapel with an altar. And if we rest here at the cleansing chapel, they call it, we can come back later and meet an NPC who will induct us into the first DLC. First things first, though, let's work our way around the exterior. Oh yeah, that guy's still a thing. One thing to be careful of around here is worms, specifically corpses parasitized by worms. Because when worms or leeches crawl all over you, you slowly but surely build up bleed damage. And you will actually accrue or suffer the effect of the bleed status several times, unless you do something about it when you're covered in those worms. These guys are just going to keep coming, I'm pretty sure. So gotta be careful there. Hey, it's the Astora Greatsword. Again, cool for some builds, not for this one, but always glad to have more stuff I can use to talk about the lore with. Some of these guys are possessed by massive piles of worms that will burst out at close range. Like that guy, maybe. No? Okay. So as we make our way slowly but surely through the world's most anemic recreation of Thriller, we will approach, like, there's one of the worm homunculi. God damn it, he got me right off the bat. Of course he did. Not like it matters, he's dying now. We'll eventually reach, like, a pathway to the uppermost rafters of the church's exterior. Yeah, blood loss, there we go. I ain't giving y'all a chance now. Faden Soul, Executioner's Greatsword. Oh my god. Notice that bleed status is still a-coming. It is insane how long this status, the, like, worm status remains unless you specifically, I think, have a torch or a pyromancy that you can hold to, like, put it out a little faster. Fortunately, these guys don't appear in too many different places throughout the game. I think their design's really cool. For the most part, once we get up to, like, the periphery of the church itself, we'll be fighting regular grave wardens again. God, the worms are the worst. But notice there's a big old bog full of them down there, like more evolved versions down there, that we will also have to fight later on to get some loot. We'll probably go back there later. MC says if we can burn down a warehouse as a leech and a lurk, we could destroy the main church without issues. Right on. Especially when you've got a Whisper being played by a man who very firmly believes that magical beings and eldritch deities and all of that are usually in the right in his fantastic settings. Seriously, if you give me a choice, I will always side with magic, the supernatural, bizarre or powerful gods in any RPG or video game ever. Oh, it's a super Grave Warden. They have blades that inflict bleed. There's not too many of them. I kind of like their visuals. They look a bit like if the Scarecrow was in Dark Souls, say. And you can get their blades as well, which are pretty damn good. Here's another area that the giant can pepper. MC says, I'd be careful because there are definitely entities wishing to destroy everything. As long as they destroy us last, I would be fine. No, I understand. In that kind of a setting, there are going to be some things a bit too dangerous, even for the most passionate, like lover of the esoteric and the otherworldly. But I'm gonna commune with everything else I can. I mean, yeah, we'll need, like, all of our foot soldiers and cohorts and all of that. But we're also going to have lots of, like, eldritch beasties and entire bottles of whoop-ass. Good to see the giant still holding to his promise and helping us out. I knew there was an item I missed. Repair powder. Okay, well this is going better than it usually does. This is one of the tougher areas of the cathedral to manage, just because of all of the bleed-inflicting enemies all about the place. And of course the giant launching those arrows. They're no joke. Here we've got the Curse Ward Great Shield, and you guys aren't gonna believe what this is. This is actually the Pursuer's Great Shield. Great shield given to those who resisted the curse long ago. Far too heavy for an ordinary person. Perhaps it signifies the foolishness of resisting the curse. And yet, those who bear the weight of this shield will not find its protections against curses wanting. Yeah, I'm not going to use it because it's too heavy, but check it out! It's the Pursuer's Shield! MC says, from what I understand, many entities feed on the energy of the living, so might as well be with the beings that are less voracious. Definitely, yes. That or consort exclusively with beings who want to do harm to one specific type of person. So, like, if they've got a thing against the church that wants to see them all stamped out, we could help with that. If they want to, say, take down the Bluecoats, or strike a blow against the Empire for keeping them at bay for so long, we can do that. Or if we find a powerful eldritch deity that just so happens to want to be our pal, we can of course do that. Oh god, these things are so gross. And we will be staying far away from them for the time being. Can we attack these bridges? No, we cannot. MC says, you'll be going to the dock to free some demons, won't you? All depends on what kind of demons and how much people are charging. Or how much people are paying, I should say. Rusted coins. Red bug pellets. I don't think we can open these doors yet. These massive verdigris-coated doors. No, instead we've got to skirt along the periphery and deal with some more Grave Wardens. Most of whom have, like, flame-based attacks, or flame-based weaponry. And, of course, some of them, if you notice, are throwing undead hunter charms, keeping us from healing for a certain time period. Those can be nasty, of course. I wish our weapon were just perpetually aflame like that. But it's not. hey, if y'all can believe it, that Marvel's Avengers comes out in, I think, just a couple weeks. Can't wait to see what a mess that turned into. Or, honestly, hopefully, remember, I do hope it'll be good. Despite being a live service, despite having a ton of things I hate in modern video games present, I hope we get a really good Avengers game. And I'll be playing it live for you guys here on the channel so we can see. We should be done with Dark Souls by then, and hopefully done with Hellpoint. I really want to go back to that game at some point. Apparently, I've been trying to avoid Hellpoint spoilers, but I follow a channel that plays a lot of Souls-likes, and so once in a while, like on YouTube, I mean, I'll get a notification from them like, oh hey, check out this new video. Apparently, there is a boss fight against 2 opponents, because of course there would be. They look kind of like these Daft Punk Jedi-looking things, if that makes any sense. We're really lucky that a lot of the enemies we've come across that have shields tend to have smaller, weaker shields with very little poise. So we could just, you know, kick them out of the way. Not entirely sure what the purpose of all the nails here is. It's a beautiful looking cathedral though, isn't it? MC says we started Hellpoint, we shall finish it. And it looked really good for a Souls-like from a relatively small team with a small budget, didn't it? Like, really, really good. That first boss was cool as all hell. The alien slaver that traced those patterns in the air with void energies. That's my kind of jam. Oh, I see you, little thrall. Oh, didn't know there were 2 of you, but a bunch of red bug pellets, okay. Also noticed a couple grave wardens with an evangelist over here, so hold on, what we're gonna do, since we've got the equip load for it now, is whip out our catalyst and throw on some great magic weapon. MC says I still need to see more of it, but it's okay so far. It's pretty damn promising, in my eyes. Oh, man, the suicide bomber actually hurt the evangelist as well. Oh, we got hit with one of the charms, though. Still haven't gotten a single piece of their gear. We got a couple undead hunter charms. That's alright, I guess. The evangelists are actually associated with this place, the Cathedral of the Deep. This entire cathedral is dedicated to Saint Aldrich. You know, the giant, like, obese cannibal priest. Oh, it's one of these guys again, the big guys. I forgot that they show up again. Only now he's wearing, like, religious vestments. Oh, that is clever. They get you with one... They do it twice, really. Okay. I see ya. Oh, didn't see you, though. God, they're everywhere here. It's like a sequential ambush, one after the other, after the other, after the other. So these figures are kind of interesting looking, aren't they? I have no idea what they're supposed to represent, but they look cool. Now there's a couple of those elite grave wardens up here. Might as well magic up the old blade before we go. They've got some pretty respectable poise, don't they? Ooh, nice. Nice, nice, nice. I mean, not nice for us, obviously, but looks cool. There we go. Oh my god, what was that? Glitched out on the geometry of the statue, I guess. Anything here? No? And we did get everything elsewhere, won't we? Oh no, we didn't come up here. Oh, you just know there's stuff up there, but I think we can get there later. MC says, kind of thinking about my character in Blades, what kind of place would he live in, and the temperament. I know my character's temperament so far. I don't know that much about, like, their actual, like, backstory insofar as geography and employment and all that. I'm thinking some kind of tangential association with all of the labor activists in the industrial zone. Because, I mean, that's close enough for me to be comfortable playing my first time. Oh, it's another big one with an axe. MC says, right, we also need to determine where the crew will be located. I was thinking, so, I know the game recommends Crow's Perch, right? Like the game, or the gang-infested district. That might not be the best place to operate like a gang suited for war out of. Maybe like, maybe like the Night Market, or the Red Light District, or, sorry, Red Lamp District. But, oh, by the way, have a look-see at the cathedral itself. Isn't it gorgeous? And our goal will be to cross this entire cavernous sanctuary that's all, like, gunk that may or may not be poisonous, by the way, and make it to the, Oh, it's the slimes. The slimes are back, by the way. Make it to the place where Saint Aldrich rests. MC says like Bloodborne cathedrals, but even bigger. Well, bigger and with a much more beautiful color palette. I love, like, the reds and rich dark blues and golds. Yeah, MC says I dig this. Agreed. Oh, it's time to meet the resident humanoid enemies here, the Deacons of the Deep. They're these really cool-looking undead priests that fight using special candlesticks that are combination like short swords and I want to say catalysts. They don't use miracles, I don't think. Well, they might cast miracles with the candlestick, I don't know. Completing this dungeon grants us access to my favorite, we're going this way. My favorite, armor set, like, just in terms of fashion souls, maybe in the entire game. This brings us down to an area I think we might have to... Oh no, this is right off of the chapel. This door would have been sealed otherwise. MC says Night Market's probably not a great idea for a start. Higher security, right? So maybe the Red Light District. I'm thinking a place that wouldn't have, like, just an abundance of tougher gangs. I really want to get over to that window somehow. Let's have a look-see. Boy, how on earth are we gonna do that? Okay, it's time for a very bad idea. Looks like to get this, we have to run the Great Leech Monster Gambit. Brand new area, though, and an area with a giant crystal lizard at that. Titanite? That was it? Oh, man. Yeah. Nothing to cure bleed, though, eh? Well, that's a pity. MC says might also be confusing another part of town with the red light district. No. I said the night market or the red light district. It seemed like the red light district had a little bit less action relative to its wealth. Hey, poison bite ring. That'll be handy. We could just start in, like, one of the dilapidated districts as well. Like, 6 Towers? 6 Towers would be good. Good and safe. And as I said, that leech affliction is no joke. Oh no, no, here we go. Gotta hit a homeward bow. And fast. Whew, made it. With all of our souls intact. Right on. MC says, oh right, the red light district is a small part of Silkshore. That's right, yep. So my votes right now would be either Silkshore or 6 Towers.
Just one.
6 Towers is perfect due to its low security and plenty of opportunities for the ghosty stuff. There's a better weapon for Irithyll we can get later. Much later, but... Might as well level up, yeah?
Very authentic.
Do we get 2 or something? Yeah. We'll get some more endurance and... maybe just keep working endurance for now, now that I think about it. I mean, yeah, why not?
Farewell, Ashen Lightning.
Once we get the item I'm going for, Undead Bone Shard, hell yeah, throw that on there. We're going to be rolling very, very quickly, because we will be very, very frail. You can find the Drakeblood armor that we used for the Dark Souls 2 DLC at some point, apparently. That'd be pretty cool. It was really good armor for its weight. But now we can just jog right on over here and ride this elevator back on up into the cathedral proper, where you may have noticed a Dark Souls 1 giant, larger than ever, is waiting to attack us. Oh yeah, also, the giants are back, but they are now explicitly giants of the sort seen in Anor Londo. Dark Souls 2 giants are either nowhere to be found, or, like, have a very, very small place in the lore. Because, you know, of course. Ew, that statue just vomited on us. Or tried to. As we're going to see, the Deep, or the Cathedral of the Deep, holds to a very, or at least did hold to, an extremely pleasant religious creed that was tainted over time, largely due to associations with St. Aldrich. So, these guys are a nightmare to fight. But fortunately, they do not respawn. They're fast, though, like, for giants of this size. This is basically old Iron King on crack. And with ridiculous AoEs that linger after the blow lands. Soul of a Nameless Soldier, okay. Buddy, it'd be great if I could attack you. Fortunately, he can knock out the deacons as well. Oh my god. Could you please use one of the attacks that would allow me to hit you? Guess not. Really? Dude. Well, we can take them down when we finally get to the ground floor, but that can be a bit harder. Because of all the muck slowing us down, you see. Oh my god! That AoE really should not linger any longer than the attack itself lasts. That is so weird. Like, there's a shockwave that has its own timing. Such riveting battle, isn't it? Oh my god. No! Oh my god. No. No. Oh, that's very bad. Oh, that's very bad. We are not supposed to be here yet. Well, at least he's slightly easier to hit down here. Okay, good night. Dropped a tiny little soul to... MC says 6 Tower seems interesting for you with an easy access to Night Market. Yeah, and plenty of arcane stuff around there. I was also reading and it said, like, insofar as safety for a criminal enterprise goes, it would probably be one of the best bets in the game because so little is happening there, and there are still several large but very well defended, like, wealthy estates around. Notice that the giant dropped a single piece of large titanite and a whole bunch of shit. Dark Souls, ladies and gents. But this does open a shortcut for us back down to the, Or, no, I'm sorry, it doesn't. It gives us access to this balcony with the Saint's Bident, which is an interesting callback, I think, to maybe a Bell Gargoyle thing, or it's just a weapon type they wanted to use again. A silver bident decorated by a holy symbol, formerly wielded by Saint Clement. He discarded this weapon that draws upon one's faith on the day that he put his own faith behind him. Aw. And we get a couple homeward bones. Nice. One of which we're going to use right now to go back to that bonfire so we can tackle this area as in sort of the order of operations I was intending to use. Homeward bone, homeward bone, homeward bone. That's another shortcut we'll open later, I see. And MC, I saw your messages in the Discord. Yeah, the docks would also be really cool, I think. Seems like it might be the most evenly balanced district in the game. It's unusual that the deacons disappear after we kill them, because usually most humanoid enemies our size ragdoll, right? MC says I was mostly posting that to clarify the where we want to operate part. Yeah, no, those all seem like pretty good options. Oh, we got something. The deacon's robe. Robe worn by deacons of the Cathedral of the Deep. The deep red pigment denotes the blessing of fire. In time, those dedicated to sealing away the horrors of the deep succumb to their very power. It seems that neither tending to the flame nor the faith could save them. That may be true, but look at how badass this thing looks on our character. Even though it's not that great as armor, we're gonna use it. MC has so many things to vote on. Yeah. I mean, I guess if I have to issue a formal vote right now, I'll say I'll be good. I would be happy with either Six Towers or the docks, with a slight preference towards... Honestly, if we're going for a crew of bravos, so like big, rough and tough bruisers doing a lot of like hand-to-hand, not exactly hand-to-hand, but just combat missions, docks would probably be better, wouldn't they? Like there's just more going on there. Well, even though where you're headquartered doesn't necessarily reflect where you're going to be working, I don't think. Not totally. So here, we can meet another new friend in a moment, the Cathedral Knights. Big, bulky soldiers who kind of serve as the spiritual successors of the Berenica Knights. MC says, yeah, that or Silk Short. Yeah, they'd all be good. As I said, I'm brand new to this, so whatever's best for the group, I'm happy to try out. You guys... Oh, we've got another slime lying in wait. Hello. And we got the Seek Guidance miracle that allows us to reveal just a larger number of player-created messages when we're playing online. Which I think we are. Oh, yeah. We're not seeing a lot of stuff probably because I think I matched my game with a password with a friends at some point. Oh no, we can't because we might be offline. Whoopsies. One moment. Launch setting, play online. There we go, we've been playing offline this entire time. I'm so sorry, guys. Must have changed that setting ages ago when I was playing the game last, which would have been, what, 2+ years? So up here we could take out that Grave Warden that was sniping at us with the crossbow in time. I absolutely adore their voice work. Still nothing, huh? Alright. Oh, did he drop down already? Yes, he did. An ember up here, very nice. Anything else? Not yet. There's actually not much fan service in this area. There's one little bit of it. One little bit of fan service, and that's it as far as the real heavy stuff goes. Which, I mean, by Dark Souls 3 standards is nothing, right? So the Cathedral Knights can use, I believe, prayers and blessings to buff their Yoromemic. To buff their weapons, but otherwise aren't too bad. I think they're pretty easy to backstab when it's just you and them one-on-one. What on earth does this guy have? Oh, the Deep Braille Divine Tome. We probably also don't want to give this one to our friend, as it's another dark, tainted tome. I mean, just look at it. Belonging to the Deacons of the Cathedral. Intended to teach divine protection to the Deacons of the Deep, but later dark tales were added to its pages, such that it is now considered a thing profane. So, we're definitely not giving that to our friend. Shouldn't there be a Cathedral Knight in here? Here he is. So yeah, he looks a lot like a Berenica Knight, unfortunately. But still looks pretty cool. Don't you dare enchant that. Oh, he enchanted it. Oh boy, he enchanted it. Meaning his mace will now leave small little, like, time-delayed AoEs on the ground where it strikes. But we got him. Now, this place. Ring and a monster that will attack us as soon as we get the ring. There it is. So meet the Irithilian spider monster thingy, which is definitely its official name. This is more Pontiff Sullivan's handiwork. Pontiff Sullivan is... well, he's more or less the de facto head of the Cathedral of the Deep. He's also the guy that created the Irithilian Outrider Knights, like those monsters we've been fighting. And that thing dropped Aldrich's Sapphire, special ring. Recover FP, so stamina from critical attacks. A malformed ring left by Aldrich, the Saint of the Deep. Aldrich, infamous for his appetite for flesh, apparently had the desire to share with others his joy of imbibing the final shudders of life while luxuriating in his victim's screams. Yeah, so this guy apparently perpetuated the Age of Fire at some point, not exactly a prince of a fella, and he's our next target, for the record. We're gonna go Aldrich, Yorm, Lothric. That's our order. So there should be a bunch of thralls around in this area, and we'll get invaded. We'll get invaded by an NPC. Longfinger Kirk, who you may remember from Dark Souls 1, the knight with all of the spikes around. Like he's got the spiked shield, the spiked sword, all of that. There he is. We want to fight him in the area that's not coated with poison. Or not poison, just sludge. Now, he's nowhere near as survivable, I want to say, as the other invaders we've had to deal with. He's a pretty good swordsman who hits hard, but that's about it. He's also got stamina out the wazoo, apparently. But down he goes. That was, by the standards of this game, that was really easy. We got the barbed straight sword and the spike shield. Come on, big guy. That's it. MC says, so yeah, if we pick Silkshore or Night Market, we're bound to pick a fight with the Wraiths. Now, I didn't make it quite far enough into the detailed faction guide to get into the nitty-gritty of them. What's their deal once again? Just kind of like a bunch of cast-offs, right? Here we can find the Maiden set that I think the cleric from the first game worked. MC says they specialize in the theft of luxury items and intelligence gathering for clients to use as blackmail. Okay. So, kind of like... well, gee, almost sounds like... a Black Ops version of a PMC, like a mercenary company. Or a private security firm. Yeah, I could definitely see us throwing down with something like that and coming out on top, too. So there's actually several giants here. I think there's... is it one or two more? Oh, just one more. We might want to fence him in. There are these, MC says more like thieves and spies. Well, yeah, like a very, very loose Victorian wetwork agency. As I said, I can dig it. We can raise giant metal barriers here to, like, restrict the giant's movement, which is exactly what we're gonna want to do. I saw one of the switches that would allow us to do so somewhere around here. Here we go. So you just pull this, and up it goes. This will also create new paths once we're able to get up there. We can walk along these barriers we're raising. And as you can see, it doesn't restrict our movement, just the giants. I do like that they give you that option for dealing with them if you're so inclined. We are not far from the boss, believe you me. There's like post-boss exploration, but we'll save that for tomorrow. As I said, compared to everything else we've seen, the cathedral really isn't that long. I would argue it's nearly the perfect length for a stage in Dark Souls, because, don't get me wrong, I really like the environments in this game up to this point, but don't you get the feeling like exploring them and trying to get everything, it just feels like they're a bit too big? We want to go ahead and raise that. MC says spacious and feels empty. Well, a lot of the stages don't. The cathedral may do here, because a lot of the exploration actually takes place in a series of galleries off to either side, like the one we just went through. This is just here for pure spectacle. And there's a bunch of slimes in here with the giant, because, you know, why wouldn't there be? This is Dark Souls 3, it hates you. Not as much as Bloodborne did, but it's still not exactly a member of your fan club. Oh, there's also that disgusting thing called a man grub. We'll be running into more of them later. They're not a huge threat, believe it or not. There is a covenant in this church, but it has nothing to do with the deed, believe it or not. Like, there's just another religion using this place as a hideout. Because, oh my god. The resident clergy have kind of left the building, by and large. NCS, do you have an idea for the kind of heritage you want to pick? As mentioned, I'll go Taikarosi. I'm probably going to go for, like, a foreign heritage as well. Maybe Dagger Islander? With the kind of character I'm going with, their culture sounds like it would make sense. God, you've got a lot of health. I mean, it makes sense because you're a giant, but damn. I would finally kill one of the damn things. Oh, he's down. He's finally down. As he says, Eruvia Severos. Oh wait, not paying attention. No. Yeah, I'm thinking for like a lifelong lover of the arcane, and not just the supernatural, but any type of other. Like the foreign, the unusual, the inexperienced, like the freewheeling Corsairs of the Dagger Isle sound like a really, really fun choice for a heritage. Also, perfect for the type of person who'd probably be highly critical of the Empire. We got the Drang Shoes, which is actually a component of the Llewellyn armor set we could get by talking to Chancellor Velager after defeating Vendrick in Dark Souls 2. So this is some more Dark Souls 2 love. The entire Drang set, in fact. Like it was in Dark Souls 2, really good lightweight stuff. Armor of the Drang Knights, proclaimed descendants from the land known for the legend of the Linking of the Fire. Fine protection that's both light and strong, having been reinforced with rare Guy Steel. The Drang Knights were once feared sellswords, until treason meant descending into the abyss and they were separated forever. Of course it did. We'll keep everything else as it is for now. What is this? Oh, the Drang Hammers. It's a pair of special twin maces that we can use, should we feel so inclined. Not really good for this build, but there they are. Paired hammers from the Drang Knights, When the Drang Knights disbanded, they scattered across the lands as sellswords. They quickly became known for their shieldless, aggressive tactics that struck fear in the hearts of men. So if we walk our way up here, we'll get much closer to the actual altar, along with a cathedral knight wielding a greatsword. Everybody else is just kind of conked out in the pews. Oh no, but that one wakes up, my bad. I thought they didn't. An ember. Very good. Well, give us your worst. Not that bad, please. There we go. Now we just gotta take down a few deacons and then the guy wielding the big sword, which in good old Dark Souls fashion is of course the strongest. As he says, I'm gonna head to sleep as it's past 4 a.m. Alright, we've got a boss just like right on the other side of this altar, and then I'm probably gonna cut it as well. So, thanks for stopping by, man. Always good to see you and hear from you. Good luck on the boss. Thank you very much. It's probably the easiest fight in the game, but a really cool one nonetheless. So friends, we've got kind of a special boss today. This does not complete our exploration of the cathedral, of course, because there's so much stuff to get. But it's time for a good old-fashioned horde boss. The Deacons of the Deep as a whole are our enemies here, and you may have noticed, like, a red orb flying into one of them before the fight. That's the one we want to take out, because killing them will damage the boss itself. None of the rest of these will. We're fighting them around Aldrich's massive sarcophagus. There we go. Now this is a two-phaser, as most fights in the game are. So all we want to do is whittle these suckers down. They've got absolutely gorgeous boss music and visuals, of course. I love the idea of a horde boss in games. Dark Souls, no exception. And aside from their magic attacks, and the fact that the big ones can charge you, these guys aren't really much to write home about. They get way more dangerous in Phase 2. Well, they don't, but you'll see. You'll see what happens. Go ahead and throw a little magic on there, because why not? Oh, it's got one of the big ones now. So they're actually being possessed, I believe. That's what's going on here. By this guy, the Archdeacon Royce, who spawns with two immense bodyguards and a cadre of the other bigger guys. They can cast dark sorceries and all pool their resources together to not only grant Royce very powerful dark attacks, but form a massive cloud of darkness that will start descending upon the entire arena, slowly choking us to death. Not good stuff, in other words. Oh no, our weapon's at risk. That's very bad. What else did we upgrade? Irithyll Straight Sword. It's not perfect, but it'll have to do. Oh my god. We might not get him this set. Oh my god. Yeah, attempting this with so few Estus Flask was probably pure folly on my part. Oh man. That would have been close though, with only one Estus Flask. Well, ladies and gents, now that we've seen that cool boss, I'm probably going to call it for the evening myself. We will come back bright and early tomorrow at probably around 10 or 11 a.m. with a short stream of Dark Souls 3, probably getting us past one more boss after this, and then we will return later in the day with a nice big long stream to celebrate kind of my first day off since going back to school and work. Can't wait to spend the day with you all tomorrow. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for joining us, whether you've been here in person in our Twitch chat or you're catching us after the fact as a VOD on YouTube. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you all so much, and as always, take care, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye.